Hi, this is Chris Cook with the Budget Guide, and I'm going to tell you why I did not invest in Fortinet. So why did I look at Fortinet in the first place? Well, it is a solid company in a growing industry. When I was looking at investments late last year, early this year, I was looking for an industry that was growing and a company that was excelling in that industry. Cybersecurity is definitely a growing industry. You hear on the news all the time, governments getting hacked into, companies getting hacked into, people losing their data or being compromised because of their information on the internet. Data is becoming more and more valuable, and so instead of people just trying to steal money online, they're also stealing data and using that to make money or using that to gain more power or compromise someone. And so that is a terrible threat, and there's still those people out there that just try to harm people. And so these companies, these cybersecurity companies, really are coming in to make sure that bad things don't happen to us. And so the cybersecurity industry, it's here to stay, and it's going to keep growing in the future because we need it, because cyber attacks can happen from an individual, they can happen from a group, or even a government can be attacking someone or another company. And so the cybersecurity industry, it's here to stay, and it's going to keep growing in the future because we need it more and more. So I ended up narrowing it down to 3 companies: Palo Alto Networks, Fortinet, and FireEye. I thought these companies, out of all the companies, were great companies, and they all focused on prevention and cybersecurity, and that they would have firewalls, or they would have something for the cloud so that people that were trying to hack into your company or attack your company wouldn't be able to. One of the things that stood out with FireEye is they actually go in after someone's hacked, and they figure out why they were hacked, how they were hacked, and prevent a similar situation from happening again. I like that from FireEye. From Palo Alto Networks, I like that they were acquiring companies to make a fuller suite of products for their users. Fortinet was focusing on their products and making them better and improving them to make them stand out. And so each of the companies kind of had their own different way of solving cybersecurity, and I liked all of them in their different ways. I even looked at the CEOs, and I liked all of them too. They were great people, and I think they're going to lead their companies to be very successful. I even thought about buying a cybersecurity fund because all these companies are great, and these are the 3 main ones anyway, so might as well buy a fund that has all 3 in it. And I was like, okay, well, I really actually want to buy one company at the end of the day, so I had to really figure out what made one company stand out, what made them to actually be the one that's going to succeed and grow more than the others and outperform the industry. I looked at the financials at the end of the day, and the financials with Fortinet, it really stood out to me compared to Palo Alto Networks and FireEye, because one, they're making money, unlike Palo Alto Networks and FireEye, their net income is negative right now. And then as well as Fortinet has money in reserves, and they're very good at budgeting, really, and I guess that's why I like them, maybe because I'm the budget guide. So that's what made Fortinet stand out as the company that I was going to buy. After I had Fortinet, I had to go through a couple more tests, and the main one that I looked at was selling it myself. So I went to their website, saw if I could even sell it. I mean, I'm an insurance broker, so I'm a salesman, so I figure, okay, what would be my plan to sell this product? And so I looked at their website, went through, see, okay, they probably need to sell to a lot of businesses that have cyber threats, which pretty much is every business. But then I was like, okay, so if not all businesses are getting this solution, what are they doing instead? Well, they're going on Google Cloud or Amazon Web Services or Microsoft Azure, and what they are doing is using their security systems. So Google and Microsoft Azure and AWS have their own cybersecurity systems already included with those cloud services. And so that's good enough for the consumer, for the majority of consumers. And so Fortinet's going to have to really try hard to convince that others that they really need to use their system on top of Googles and all these other ones, which is a hard sell. Now, the other thing that comes into play is what if they have AWS and they have Google Cloud? Well, then they need a multi-cloud solution, which is great for Fortinet because they could create a multi-cloud solution for that purpose. But usually it's going to be a big company that has that, and the majority of companies are not going to be that huge. And maybe that's good enough for like a regular business, but for a business that wants to keep growing, they need to focus on more companies they need to be able to get to. And so for the near future, at least, I didn't think that Fortinet would be in my best interest to purchase. However, things can change in the future. I'm looking forward to the antitrust hearing to see how that goes. I mean, that might break up the big companies in tech, and maybe they're not allowed to sell their own cybersecurity solution, and Fortinet can swoop in like that. Or maybe they are able to convince the majority of consumers that they need their system on top of the other systems that they already use, like Google and Amazon and Microsoft. Well, I mean, personally, I think they do, but the majority don't, because they're like, this is good enough. And when it's good enough and they don't see that they're getting hacked into, then they just stay with their things. And on top of that, it's like, it is a lot of money to do cybersecurity, and so you have to get to that certain point where you can spend that money, and so that's why that's the hard cut for Fortinet for me. Make sure to subscribe and let me know your thoughts on the cybersecurity industry. Fortinet, FireEye, Palo Alto Networks. I'm really curious to see what you guys think. And do not use this information for financial decisions. Remember my disclaimer in the description below. And with that, I'll see you next week.